Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take the research you send us and turn it into clear, compelling knowledge. Today, we're immersing ourselves in the world of personal wellness tech.
Specifically, home infrared saunas.
That's right. The surge in these luxury home amenities is really something, and we're focusing on one specific model you asked about.
Exactly. You, our listener, challenged us to zero in on the Dynamic Infrared Venice Elite 2. You sent us everything, the product specs, feature lists, comparisons, and I think most importantly, over 100 verified customer reviews.
And that feedback right out of the gate is overwhelmingly positive. We're talking 104 reviews with a 4.7 out of 5-star average. That's fantastic.
So our mission here is to distill all of that. We're going from the construction and the tech to what people are actually experiencing day to day to see if this is the right investment for you.
Or if it's just another expensive piece of home gym gear that ends up gathering dust.
It's all about getting past the glossy photos and into the nuts and bolts of what you're actually buying, installing, and, living with.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the product itself.
Right.
We're looking at the Dynamic Infrared Venice Elite 2. It's a 2-person, Bluetooth-compatible, FR infrared sauna made from Canadian Hemlock wood.
And the single most important thing to understand right away is that technology. FR infrared. It's a completely different animal than traditional sauna.
The kind you think of with the hot rocks and steam.
Yeah,
right.
A traditional sauna uses convection. It heats up rocks, which heats the air around you to an incredibly high temperature. It can feel, pretty stifling.
Like walking into a massive sweaty sponge.
Perfect analogy. FR infrared, on the other hand, it generates heat as light waves. Your body absorbs these waves directly, which raises your core temperature from the inside out.
So it's not just scorching the air around you.
Not at all. You get a really deep therapeutic sweat, but at a much lower, more tolerable air temperature. It's this enveloping warmth that penetrates instead of a blast of surface level heat.
That distinction, deep, tolerable heat, that seems like a total game changer, especially for daily use. So let's talk logistics. This is a 2-person unit. 1 seating bench, max temp of 140 Fahrenheit.
And here's where we get into the details that really matter before you even think about buying. The power. It needs 1,700 watts, 15 amps, 120 volts.
Okay, so that 15 amps is the key takeaway there, isn't it?
It's critical. It uses a standard household plug, yes, but you really, really need to make sure it's on a dedicated circuit. If you plug this into the same circuit as your freezer or a big TV setup,
you're going to be flipping the breaker every single time.
Every single time. It's a crucial piece of homework to do before you purchase.
Good to know. Beyond power, what about health safety? They advertise this as ultra-low EMF.
Right. EMF is electromagnetic fields. And, since you're sitting inside an electric box for a while, people get anxious about that.
Understandably.
This unit is rated at a level 3, which is considered ultra-low. It's a clear sign that Dynamic is engineering these carbon panels specifically to address that consumer concern. It's far below any level that regulatory bodies would find concerning.
Okay, so they've thought that through. Now, let's talk construction. The material is 100% natural reforested Canadian hemlock. That sounds nice, but is it just for looks?
No, it's actually an efficiency decision. Hemlock is naturally resistant to warping, which is vital in that kind of environment. And they use a lot of it. The sources say it's built with 6mm interior and 6mm exterior planks.
Wow.
Plus a 1.75-inch inner frame. When you add all that up, the claim is that the walls are 40% thicker than many competitors.
40% thicker? That sounds great for stability, but let me play skeptic for a second. Doesn't that make it super expensive and a nightmare to assemble?
That's a great question. We'll get to the assembly feedback, but on the cost and bulk, the consensus is that the efficiency you gain is worth it. Thicker walls mean better heat retention.
Which means it heats up faster.
Faster heat up, and it uses less electricity to stay hot during your session. It's an energy-saving feature built right into the structure itself. It's designed for repeated, economical use.
So we've got a strong engine. What about the cockpit? What makes sitting in this thing a modern, relaxing experience?
They definitely leaned into the convenience features. The heat itself comes from 6 big Carbon PureTech ultra-low EMF heating panels. They're all around you.
And you need good ambiance when you're settled in.
Precisely. You get interior reading lights and a full chromotherapy lighting system.
No, that's the color therapy, right?
Yeah, using colored LEDs to influence your mood. You can cycle it to blue for relaxation or red for a little more energy. It adds a layer of customization.
And you can control all that from inside or outside, so you're not opening the door and letting all the heat out.
Right. Dual LED panels. And then there's the soundtrack. It's got full Bluetooth compatibility, plus your standard MP3 AUX jacks. They connect to 2 dynamic speakers with the preamp.
So bring your own phone or tablet.
Exactly. No radio included, but the integration is seamless. You can have the exact audio you want for your session.
Okay, so let's get to the real reason someone buys this, the wellness promise. What are the core health benefits being cited here?
The sources link that deep FAR infrared heat to several key things.
Yeah.
First, it's been shown to help lower blood pressure. It also aids in general detoxification and increases blood circulation.
And for active people, what about recovery? Sore muscles, joints?
It's specifically cited for alleviating joint pain and easing soreness. That's why it's so popular with athletes, because the heat penetrates so deeply, it can loosen up tight tissues more effectively. And yes, they also mention benefits like burning calories and improving skin tone.
What's fascinating here is that comparison to traditional saunas again. Because the air doesn't feel as brutally hot, you can probably stay in longer and get a better session without feeling like you're fighting to breathe.
That's the key difference. One user said the heat feels like the heat of the sun when it comes out from behind the clouds.
Oh, I like that. Warm, powerful, but not suffocating.
Exactly. You're getting that deep core sweat without the struggle.
So let's talk about the practical reality of owning this, starting with a huge pro speed. How fast does it actually heat up?
Very fast. We're talking 10 to 15 minutes to get going. The specs say if the room is above 68 degrees, it'll hit 130 degrees in about 30 minutes.
That's huge for someone who wants to use it right after a workout. No waiting around.
Right. That immediacy is a major selling point.
Okay, on the flip side, the first big hurdle, assembly. This isn't plug and play. You have to build it.
You do. And with those 40% thicker walls, some pieces are heavy. Assembly is required, 2 people are suggested, and you'll need a screwdriver and a rubber mallet.
The fact that they mention a mallet suggests you might need a little persuasion to get things to fit.
A little elbow grease, for sure. Multiple reviewers mentioned the side panels and hooks can be a tight fit, which is good for a solid final product, but, takes some effort.
And that front panel with the glass door has to be the heaviest part.
It is. But honestly, the DIY feedback was surprisingly positive. One person said they only needed a second person for about 2 minutes just to lift the heaviest parts into place. The rest they did solo.
That's pretty good. It speaks to a smart design. But what about long-term trade-offs? The warranty sounds a little tricky.
It is, and you have to pay attention here. It's a 5-year warranty, but it's limited.
Yeah.
And this is the key. Parts only, defects only. No labor.
So if a heating panel dies in year 4, they'll send you a new one.
But you have to install it yourself or pay someone to do it. The cost of a technician coming to your house is entirely on you.
That's a crucial thing to know. And what about simple day-to-day care?
2 things came up constantly. First, towels. The Hemlock bench is bare wood. It will stain from sweat, so a towel on the bench is mandatory. Second, the power cord isn't very long, so you have to place the unit close to that dedicated outlet.
And we did see one report of potential failure point.
We did. It seems to be an outlier, but one reviewer said the supports for the bench broke within 3 days. They said the wooden blocks were just held on by a few thin nails. Given the amazing overall rating, it's likely a one-off issue. But it suggests a smart move during assembly might be you just go ahead and reinforce those bench supports yourself.
A little preventative maintenance. But that aside, the user satisfaction is just incredibly high.
It really is. I mean, despite the talk of needing a mallet, people love the assembly process. One person said it took less time to build it than it did to unbox all the pieces.
That's impressive. And they loved the actual experience. That dry heat, the fact that it's much more tolerable than the steam-type old saunas.
And they're using it frequently. After workouts, multiple times a week. And they're pointing out that it saves them money on a gym membership or visits to a specialized health club.
The convenience makes it a better value if you're a frequent user.
Absolutely. And then there's the gold standard anecdote for durability.
Oh, this was my favorite part.
A reviewer confirmed they bought their unit in 2016. They moved in 2022, took the entire thing apart, moved it, reassembled it, and after 8 years, it still works as if new.
That is fantastic validation. That's the ultimate test of build quality right there.
But the why behind the purchase, for some people, is maybe the most compelling part. One user bought this specific sauna on a recommendation from their radiation oncology team.
Wait, a medical recommendation for oncology support?
Yes. The goal was to help their body rid itself of toxins associated with the radiation treatment. And while the buyer said, they'll never know for sure if it worked clinically, it gave them a proactive tool to feel better and aid their recovery during a really difficult time.
That just frames this in a totally different light. This isn't just a luxury gadget. It's a serious wellness tool for some people.
Absolutely.
So this brings us to our final synthesis. Who should really jump on this specific product?
I think we can draw a really clear profile. First, you're the home wellness seeker. You value privacy in your own settings way more than a public spa.
Second, you're the post-workout recovery enthusiast. You need that fast, frequent access to muscle relief, so that 10-minute heat-up time is essential for you.
Third, you're the efficiency buyer. You see the value in those thick hemlock walls for heat retention and lower energy bills over time.
And finally, you're the dry heat preferencer. If you find traditional steam saunas to be just too witch, this is the kind of penetrating warmth you're looking for.
And the cautions for that buyer are pretty straightforward. You've got to be comfortable with DIY assembly or hiring someone. And if you're particularly tall and like to stretch out, a long-term user suggested maybe looking at the 3-person model for a bit more legroom.
Oh, and definitely pick up those optional wooden back supports. A lot of reviewers said they make a huge difference for comfort since the interior walls can get pretty hot.
Right. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, this unit really represents the democratization of advanced wellness tech. It's bringing it right into the home, and it's backed by really solid construction and great long-term user reviews.
Which raises a really important question for anyone considering this. Given the low EMF rating and the focus on detoxification, how might having an always-on-call wellness tool like this actually change your daily routine versus relying on sporadic, expensive trips to the gym for the same treatment?
That constant availability, it fundamentally changes how you can stick with a wellness plan. It's a truly provocative thought to consider as you weigh the investment.
If the Dynamic Infrared Venice Elite 2 sounds like the perfect fit for your home gym or wellness setup, you can find a link to purchase the product and review all the full specifications we discussed in the description below.
We began to feel the fire.